You may have seen those posts that are kind of dotted around every now and again about how certain Disney animations look exactly the same as other animations from them. Disney may seem like the outliers in doing this, but this is actually done based on a process called Rotoscoping, which goes back to 1915 and a guy called Max Fisher. Max Fisher, who came from a family of inventors and innovators, saw Gertie the dinosaur with his brother and was really inspired by it and wanted to make smooth animation himself. So Max grabbed his brother, who worked as a clown for his job, and made him into a character called Coco the Clown that he recorded in front of a white background. So now that he had this footage, he wanted to animate to it. To do this at the time, he took an old projector and a car headlight, kind of lumped them together, put them underneath an easel, and called that a rotoscope. So as the live action footage shone onto the glass, he put tracing paper on top and started drawing over it frame by frame, and that's how he animated. And Max has his own history after that. He went on to make the studio that made Popeye and Betty Boop, and he came up with a whole load of inventions. For example, the invention that Up Iwerks based his multiplane camera on for Disney. He could really do with his own video. There's just a whole load of history that I just can't really get into in this video. Anyway though, stepping away from Max Fisher, the creation of the rotoscope would have a massive impact on the industry, even if it did end up not being liked by a lot of people for various reasons. The thing is, animators and general viewers sometimes do kind of see it a bit like cheating, because people are just, in a sense, drawing over live action footage. And of course, there's a whole issue about animators going on autopilot and not really building off the live action footage. Don Bluth said it really well when he said, "I have seen many animators become so mesmerized by the action that they forget to caricature it. The result is immediately disappointing, it is bland and lifeless. It misses out on that hand-drawn animated charm that comes along with not doing it like that and exaggerating certain parts of the characters and things like that." So because of that, Disney at first took a different approach to rotoscoping. The first part was the same. They went out and they recorded some live action footage. There's a lot of videos online showing some of the references that they used for their films. But instead of drawing directly on top of the live action footage, they instead took it and they put it on a screen in front of the animators, and they had them draw based on it rather than exactly copying it. This is a good kind of middle ground that keeps the animators from going on autopilot and just drawing exactly what is in the live action footage, and kind of giving them a framework that will help speed them up and make them make less mistakes. And I do agree with Disney in this case. I do think that drawing based on references is the best way to go about it. It's a good kind of middle ground where you don't have to be making things up. That is, unless you are short of cash and you need to save money. Animation, after all, is an incredibly expensive process because there's got to be somebody there that's drawing 12 pictures at minimum for Western animation per second of animation, which is a lot of drawings obviously. And that's not even taking into account all of the people around the animators that have to work on making the films. Obviously, from the writers to the people that colour the animations and all the rest of them. That's why Lord of the Rings, not that one, used rotoscoping quite a bit to save on costs, and it was also used in a few games here and there, such as The Last Express from 1997 and 1989's Prince of Persia. And that's also the reason why Disney did it, albeit not over live action footage, but over some of their existing footage from their previous films. They needed to save on costs at the time because they were coming off the back of World War II, and Disney just wasn't doing financially well at the time, and they really had to cut costs, or else Walt Disney might have even cut the animation department entirely to focus on the much more profitable TV market. So as they made films using other cost-cutting techniques such as xerography, which I actually did a full video about, they also cut costs by using rotoscoping. But yeah, that's something that just doesn't really happen nowadays. Most of the Western animation has gone to CGI nowadays. There was even a Ghibli film that went to CGI, and that's just a whole different process, so there doesn't need to be any rotoscoping going on to save costs. Although there are some shows that do actually use rotoscoping, but instead of being a cost-cutting measure, they use it just as an artistic choice. For example, the Amazon Prime original, Undone, used it for artistic purposes. I mean, they're funded by Amazon, they obviously didn't need to save costs. And they used it to give it a kind of surreal, weird look to it. They intentionally wanted it to look really weird. And it was also used in another film called A Scanner Darkly, again for artistic effect. Although it is still unfortunately being used actually to cheat. An example of this is a video that was going around where a person basically got into a load of trouble for doing a video for some event by basically rotoscoping over a whole load of existing animations from like Steven Universe and other series like that. Obviously people picked up on it immediately. He literally just rotoscoped over them exactly. He didn't even try to change them. By the way, don't do that even when practicing. It is basically just stealing, and if that stuff does get out, people probably are going to get annoyed at you, so it's just not worth doing. So yeah, that's the video. That's a little history into rotoscoping and why Disney used it in their animated films. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like down below and comment down in the same sort of place too. I hope you all have a great day, I hope you all stay safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.